If karma is real, why do good people suffer? A Buddhist answer. Chapter 1. The Paradox of Karma. If karma is real, why do kind, compassionate people still face illness, heartbreak, and loss? It's a question that troubles so many of us. We hear stories of generous souls, people who give freely, who live with honesty and kindness, yet they are struck with cancer, lose their jobs, or endure deep loneliness. At the same time, we look around and see selfish, manipulative, even cruel people who seem to rise to positions of wealth and power, untouched by suffering. It doesn't feel fair, and when life feels unfair, we question everything we've been taught. We start to wonder, is karma just a myth? Or worse, is it broken? Think about it. Have you ever known someone who didn't deserve the pain they went through? Maybe a friend who always helped others but ended up betrayed by those they trusted, or a relative who lived a clean, healthy life but was struck down by illness at a young age. These moments shake us because they don't fit the neat story we sometimes tell ourselves about karma. Do good and only good will come. Do bad and only bad will come. Here's where the tension lies. We expect karma to act like instant cosmic justice, a kind of spiritual scoreboard that balances right and wrong in real time. But reality doesn't seem to follow that script. Pause for a moment and reflect. Can you recall a time when you did something kind, maybe even sacrificial, but it wasn't rewarded? Perhaps no one noticed. Maybe you were even taken advantage of. How did that feel? Did you wonder if doing good really mattered? This is the paradox of karma. We want life to be fair, but it isn't always in the short term. The Buddha understood this deeply. He knew that people would ask this question again and again. Why do good people suffer? And instead of giving a simplistic answer, he invited us to look more closely. To see that our suffering doesn't prove that karma isn't real. It reveals that our understanding of karma might be incomplete. Chapter 2. What karma really means. So let's begin by clearing up a common misunderstanding. Karma does not mean instant reward or punishment. It isn't like a cosmic vending machine where you insert a coin of kindness and instantly receive a candy bar of happiness. In Pali and Sanskrit, the word karma simply means action. More specifically, intentional action of body, speech, and mind. And every action plants a seed. This is the way the Buddha described it. Our choices, our words, our thoughts, they are like seeds sown in the soil of life. Some seeds sprout quickly, others lie dormant for years. Some may not ripen until the right conditions appear. Here's a simple example. If you smile at a stranger today, that seed may sprout instantly in the form of a smile back. That's quick karma. But if you cultivate patience and forgiveness over many years, the fruit of that seed might not be visible until one day, during a moment of crisis, you discover a calmness within yourself that others lack. That's long-term karma. And then there's the deepest layer. The Buddha taught that some karmic seeds don't ripen until another lifetime altogether. That's why life often looks unfair when we only measure it within the boundaries of a single day or even a single lifetime. Imagine a farmer planting a mango tree. Would anyone expect fruit the very next morning? Of course not. The seed needs water, sunlight, fertile soil, and above all, time. But once the conditions are right, the seed naturally bears fruit. Karma works the same way. Every action plants a seed, but the fruit appears only when conditions align, and often at a time we cannot predict. This is why good people can still face hardship. It isn't that their goodness is wasted, it's that the seeds of past actions, perhaps from long ago, perhaps even from other lifetimes, are ripening now, and while those old seeds bear fruit, new seeds of kindness and compassion are being planted for the future. This doesn't mean we're trapped in a rigid system of destiny, quite the opposite. It means we always have power in the present moment. Every choice we make, every thought we nurture, every word we speak, it's a seed going into the ground. Here's a little exercise. Think of a choice you made today, big or small. Maybe you spoke kindly to someone, or maybe you held onto a grudge. Now imagine that choice as a seed. What fruit will it bear in the weeks, months, or even years ahead? When we start to see life this way, karma stops being about instant reward or punishment. It becomes a profound understanding of cause and effect. It shows us that our lives are woven from countless seeds, some ripening now, some still hidden, some yet to be planted. And this perspective opens up a new question. If karma is not instant justice, then how do we make sense of the suffering we see in the world? Why is it that sometimes bad seeds seem to flourish while good seeds lie hidden underground? That's the mystery we'll explore next. Chapter 3. The Layers of Cause and Effect. When we talk about suffering, it's easy to jump to one conclusion. This must be karma. But the Buddha taught that karma isn't the only force shaping our lives. In fact, he explained that our experiences arise from a web of conditions. Karma is one powerful thread in that web, but it's not the whole picture. So why do good people still suffer? Let's explore 3 other layers of cause and effect beyond karma. 1. Natural laws. We live in a world of biology, aging, and natural forces. No matter how kind someone is, their body will eventually grow old, get sick, and die. A compassionate person can still catch a cold in winter, just as a cruel person can still benefit from sunshine on their skin. The Buddha reminded his disciples that even he, the enlightened one, was not exempt from illness and aging. These are natural laws, not punishments. Think of gravity. If you drop a glass, it will shatter whether you are a saint or a thief. The law of nature doesn't play favorites. 2. Chance occurrences. Sometimes life just happens. A good person may be in the wrong place at the wrong time. A natural disaster strikes. An accident on the road. An economic downturn wipes out a business. It's not karma in the sense of punishment. It's simply the reality of living in a world where unpredictability exists. Imagine being caught in the rain without an umbrella. Was it karma that made it rain, or was it simply weather? We laugh when we frame it that way, but often we do the same thing with suffering. We search for a hidden moral reason when sometimes it's just circumstance. 3. Choices of others. We don't live in isolation. We live in a web of human actions. Sometimes suffering arises not from our own karma, but from the actions of others. A kind worker may lose their job because of poor decisions made by corporate leaders. An innocent person may suffer because of greed, hatred, or ignorance in society. The Buddha emphasized interdependence. We are all connected, and our lives are constantly shaped by the intentions and actions of others. Pause for a moment and think about a time you suffered in a way that wasn't really anyone's fault. Maybe it was the loss of a loved one to illness, or maybe it was a sudden storm that ruined an important day. Notice how your mind wants to find blame, even when there isn't any. This exercise reveals something important. Not all suffering is caused by karma in the moral sense. Much of it arises from natural law, chance, or the actions of others. The Buddha taught us not to use karma as a tool for blame, but as a mirror for self-understanding. When suffering arises, the wiser question isn't, what did I do to deserve this? But how do I respond now? What seeds can I plant in this moment? This perspective frees us from guilt and blame, while reminding us that even when life feels unfair, our present choices always matter. And to make this even clearer, Let's look at some powerful stories from the Buddha's own teachings. Chapter 4. Stories from the Buddha's teachings. Abstract teachings are important, but stories bring them alive. The Buddha often used vivid examples to show how karma and suffering unfold in ways that aren't always simple or immediate. The story of Angulimala. Angulimala was once feared across India. A murderer who wore a garland of fingers, his name struck terror in villages. But when he met the Buddha, something shifted. The Buddha's calm presence disarmed him. Angulimala dropped his weapon, entered the Sangha, and dedicated his life to peace. Yet even as a monk, he still faced consequences. Villagers who remembered his crimes threw stones at him, leaving him bloodied. The Buddha told him, "Bear it, Angulimala. The weight of your past deeds would have led you to hell for lifetimes. Now you face them here and now." Transformation doesn't erase karma immediately. Even good people may still suffer the ripening of past seeds. The story of Queen Kema. Queen Kema was known for her beauty and pride in her appearance. When she met the Buddha, he created a vision of a woman even more beautiful than herself. Before her eyes, that vision aged, sickened, and died. Kema realized the truth. Even beauty and privilege cannot escape impermanence. She renounced attachment and became one of the Buddha's wisest nuns. Suffering comes not just from punishment, but from clinging to what cannot last. Good people suffer when they forget this universal law of change. The story of the farmer and the seeds. The Buddha once compared karma to farming. A farmer plants many seeds. Some sprout quickly, others slowly, some not at all, depending on soil and weather. In the same way, our actions plant countless karmic seeds. Some ripen right away, some after years, some in future lives. When good people suffer, it doesn't mean their kindness is wasted. It may simply mean other seeds are ripening while their good seeds are still underground, waiting for their time. These stories remind us that life isn't a simple equation of good equals reward, bad equals punishment. Angulimala shows that past karma can still bear fruit even after we change. Kema shows that suffering can awaken wisdom when we see impermanence clearly. The farmer reminds us to keep planting good even when the harvest isn't visible yet. So when we ask, if karma is real, why do good people suffer? The Buddha's stories remind us, suffering isn't proof that goodness is wasted. It's proof that life is complex, shaped by many conditions. And within that complexity, kindness still plants seeds that will ripen, whether we see them immediately or not. Chapter 5. How suffering can be a teacher. The Buddha began his entire teaching with a simple but profound truth. Life includes suffering. This is the first noble truth, dukkha. It doesn't matter how good we are, how kind or how careful, life will still bring illness, loss, aging, and death. For many this sounds bleak, but the Buddha wasn't being pessimistic, he was being honest. By looking suffering straight in the eye, we open the door to wisdom. Good people don't avoid suffering, they transform it. Think of someone you know who has faced great hardship, yet somehow radiates kindness. Their suffering didn't harden them, it softened them. This is the miracle hidden in pain. Suffering can be a fire that burns us down, or it can be a forge that shapes us into something stronger, more compassionate. The difference lies in how we meet it. The Buddha himself endured years of harsh ascetic practice, physical weakness, and relentless questioning. That struggle gave him the insight to walk the middle way, not indulgence, not denial, but balance. Many of his disciples, too, found that their greatest hardships became the soil of awakening. Interestingly, Modern psychology echoes this Buddhist insight. Researchers talk about post-traumatic growth, the way some people emerge from crisis with deeper meaning, stronger relationships, and greater appreciation for life. Neuroscience shows that the brain literally rewires itself through adversity. When we endure hardship and meet it with mindfulness, our nervous system develops resilience. Stress doesn't vanish, but our capacity to handle it expands. So suffering isn't just something to endure, it can become a teacher. Let's try something together. Think of a hardship you faced recently, maybe rejection, illness, or disappointment. Close your eyes and bring it to mind. Now ask, what has this taught me? What seed of wisdom or compassion could this pain be planting? Maybe it taught you patience. Maybe it gave you empathy for others who suffer. Maybe it reminded you of what truly matters. Notice how this reframing changes the energy of the memory. The hardship doesn't disappear, but it becomes a seed rather than just a wound. The Buddha compared this to using a thorn to remove another thorn. Suffering may pierce us, but with awareness, it can also help extract the deeper thorn of ignorance. When seen with wisdom, even pain becomes part of the path. So when we ask, why do good people suffer? One answer is this: their suffering is not wasted. It often becomes the very ground where compassion and wisdom grow. Chapter 6. Living with Karma in Daily Life. So far we've explored karma in theory and story, but how do we live with this understanding day by day? The Buddha gave practical guidance that we can still apply right now. 1. Keep planting good seeds. Even if past karma ripens as hardship, we always have the chance to plant new seeds in the present. Every small act of kindness, every moment of patience, every choice to forgive, these are seeds that will eventually bear fruit. The Buddha once said, "Do not underestimate good, thinking it will not affect you. A water jar is filled by falling drops. Even so, the wise are filled with good, though they gather it little by little, goodness compounds. Just like drops filling a jar, every kind choice matters." 2. Don't blame the victim. It's tempting to explain suffering with, "It's just their karma." But the Buddha cautioned against using karma as a way to judge others. When someone is struggling, our job isn't to assign blame, but to offer compassion. Because remember, suffering can arise from many conditions: natural laws, chance, the choices of others. Compassion, not judgment, is the right response. 3. Use mindfulness to respond. When suffering does arise, mindfulness gives us space. Instead of reacting with anger, fear, or despair, we pause and notice. This too is karma ripening. It doesn't mean we accept injustice or avoid action. It means we meet the moment with clarity, so our response plants better seeds instead of adding more suffering. Let's try this together. Bring to mind a frustration you're facing right now, maybe at work, in your family, or even in your own mind. Now silently say to yourself, "This too is karma ripening. What seed can I plant now?" Perhaps the seed is patience. Perhaps it's courage. Perhaps it's forgiveness. Feel how that question shifts your perspective. The problem doesn't vanish, but suddenly you're not helpless. You have agency in how you respond. This is the heart of living with karma. It's not about waiting for cosmic justice. It's about recognizing that each moment is fertile ground. Even when life feels unfair, we can choose the seeds we sow. Imagine two people facing the same storm. One curses the rain, planting seeds of bitterness. The other uses the rain to water their garden. The storm is the same, but the harvest is different. So when we ask, if karma is real, why do good people suffer? The practical answer is, suffering is not proof that karma has failed. It's proof that life is complex, woven from many causes, and within that complexity, we always have the power to plant seeds of wisdom, compassion, and peace. Every moment, every choice, is another chance to create a better harvest. Chapter 7. Freedom Beyond Karma. We've seen that karma is powerful. Our actions plant seeds, and those seeds ripen into experiences, sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly, sometimes in ways we don't expect. But here's the most profound teaching of the Buddha. Karma is not ultimate. As long as we're caught in craving, ignorance, and clinging, karma keeps us cycling through birth and death, pleasure and pain, gain and loss. But the Buddha discovered a way beyond this endless cycle. This freedom is called nibbana, liberation. The Buddha often described karma using the image of fire. Every action, every craving, every attachment, it's like adding fuel to a flame. The fire burns brighter, consuming everything in its path. But what happens when the fuel is gone? The fire goes out. This is nibbana, the extinguishing of craving and ignorance. It's not annihilation, it's freedom. When we no longer grasp at pleasure, resist pain, or cling to the illusion of a fixed self, karma has nothing to bind us with. It's like cutting the strings of a puppet. The conditions are still there, but they no longer pull us. This doesn't mean we stop acting or caring. It means our actions no longer come from grasping or fear. They come from wisdom and compassion. Imagine a lotus flower growing in muddy water. The roots are in the mud, but the blossom rises above it, untouched, pure. In the same way, we can live in a world of cause and effect, but not be enslaved by it. The Buddha showed that liberation is possible not just for saints, but for ordinary people who practice mindfulness, compassion, and insight. Every time we see through craving, every time we let go of clinging, we taste a little of that freedom. And here's the encouragement. Karma may explain why suffering arises, but wisdom allows us to rise beyond it. The path isn't about perfecting our karma, it's about awakening to the truth that we are more than karma. So let's return to our question. If karma is real, why do good people suffer? We've seen that the answer is layered. Karma is real, but it's not instant. Seeds take time to ripen. Suffering doesn't come from karma alone. Natural laws, chance, and the actions of others also shape our lives. The Buddha's stories remind us that hardship is universal, but it can lead to wisdom. Good people may suffer, but their suffering often becomes the soil of compassion and strength. And ultimately, the deepest freedom lies beyond karma itself, in the liberation of nibbana. So when good people suffer, it doesn't mean their goodness was wasted. It means life is unfolding with all its complexity. And often, it means their suffering is being transformed into something greater: patience, compassion, resilience, and wisdom. Take a moment right now to reflect on your own hardships. Ask yourself, what seed of growth has this planted in me? What wisdom, what compassion has been born from this pain? When you see suffering this way, it doesn't cancel goodness, it deepens it. If this reflection spoke to your heart, I invite you to join me on this journey of exploring Buddhist wisdom. Subscribe to this channel for more teachings, stories, and practices to help us all live with more clarity, compassion, and peace. Together, we can learn not only why suffering happens, but how to transform it into freedom.